Hey, what's up everybody? This is Barn on 11970. Thank you as always for watching my videos, and hope you guys are enjoying this nice little run on the precious metals. Alright guys, I got some interesting news that I will post the link for. This was done a little bit about less than an hour ago. 30-year mortgage rates soar to an almost 2-year high. Let me read this for you. Following news that the Federal Reserve could start tapering bond purchases this year, mortgage rates soared over the past week. And this is on MarketWatch.com. Okay, following the news that the Federal Reserve could start tapering bond purchases this year, mortgage rates soared over the past week, with the popular 30-year fixed-rate mortgage rate hitting the highest level in almost 2 years, according to the data released Thursday. The average rate for the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage rose to 4.46% in the week ending June 27th, the highest rate since July of 2011, up from 3.93 in the prior week. Freddie Mac said in its weekly report. The gain of 53 basis points is the largest weekly change since 1987. A year ago, the 30-year rate averaged 3.66%. Despite recent gains, housing affordability remains relatively high, which we will not see that lasting too long if that trend continues. And the economists say an improving economy should help the housing market continue to rebound this year. All right, I'm not even going to bother wasting my time on the rest of this mainstream media when they put their opinions in and try and use their propaganda to alleviate the pain of what's coming. All right, this is what's happening. As several people have predicted, the mortgage rates are slowly starting to go up. It's the money printing, all the problems the Fed's causing. It's really starting to take its toll. And basically right now, this is a shaken soda bottle that's dying to be opened. And once it opens, it's going to explode. So I really think if this trend continues, where the mortgage rates continue to go up, and they end up ultimately printing more money because they can't take away the money. They could say whatever they want, but there's a big difference between what people say and what people do. So once the illusion of their BS wears off, people are going to start really flocking back to metals. Maybe not right away, because obviously they'll convince the sheep to get into the stocks, get into the paper market, get into cash. You know, if you want to take your risk on those things, you're absolutely willing to do that, just like any of us are taking a risk on the precious metals. But I would like to go with history, and precious metals seems to ultimately be the way to protect yourself in a decline of any society's economic system. So we're seeing the mortgage rates going up, and considering my mother has been a broker and a real estate agent since the 1980s, and I actually dabbled in real estate. I used to work for Century 21, God, about over 20 years ago. It's sad to admit that. When mortgage rates go up, it becomes harder and harder for the average person who is already financially struggling to be able to get a loan and afford a loan. So the only way that they can kind of compensate for the rising of the mortgage rates is for housing prices to start going down. I've been telling people this for over a year, year and a half. I know there were other channels where people were talking about buying real estate last year, and I was telling people, wait, because you're going to see a decline in the prices of houses. You might see a temporary rise right now because the mainstream media is convincing the people that everything's fine and, you know, taking a pile of dog poo and putting a bunch of perfume on it so it smells nice and good so you don't really notice the crap underneath it. This is not going to be lasting for too long. I give it the summer at best before you start seeing some changes. Now, are there dramatic changes? Who knows? I can't predict that. No one can. Obviously, you could see even the quote-unquote professionals can't seem to all get the same thing right. So if you want to believe, you know, what you see with the rose-colored glasses on, that's totally up to you. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm just here to pass along information. What you do with it is totally up to you. So have we seen a bottom in the precious metals? If this trend continues, if we're not there yet, we're getting close. We can't see it going too much lower, but I'll tell you this much, if you're not buying now, you're definitely not into gold and silver, and I'm not here to try and convince you. So, you know, think of it like Bitcoins. Remember, Bitcoins at one point when it first was starting out and was really popular, it got all the way up to $30 and created one heck of a buzz, and a lot of people started getting in. And then it crashed. Remember that crash, guys? And then it stayed that way for over a year. And everybody remember what happened with Bitcoins earlier this year? How all of a sudden they skyrocketed and went from, I think it was $12 on average for the past year, went up to that $30 mark again, and it shot up to $266. If you don't think things like that can happen to precious metals, don't take the chance. There's nothing I can tell you. But like I say, guys, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this for the next couple of years, as long as it takes, because obviously we could see they're going to say one thing and do another. So if you want to trust the Federal Reserve because they're professionals, and if you want to trust the media because they're professionals, and if you want to trust the government because they're professionals and they supposedly know what they're doing, well, they know what they're doing. They're just not telling us that, because they're the ones that are wealthy. We're the ones that are struggling. So obviously what they're doing is one thing. What they're saying is totally another. So what they're saying is primarily making them very wealthy. So I'd rather stick with people who have, better intentions. Not always easier to find those people, but remember, guys, patience is a virtue. I can, as close as a guarantee as I can get. Obviously, there are no guarantees in life, but the closest thing to a guarantee I can give is within the next 2 to 5 years, you will see that I was correct. And if not, it's all a chance we're willing to take, because there are risks. So there is no sure things in life. So I'm not going to sit here and say gold and silver is the answer to your prayers. It's the answer to everything. But if it can help you, if a dollar collapses and they continue to print and everything loses value, and it helps you to store some of your wealth, then you did a good thing. So with that being said, I'm leaving it there. I will post a link if you want to read the rest of their propaganda garbage. But mortgage rates are starting to go up, which means it's just a matter of time before housing prices go down. So I'll tell you this much. If you're thinking about selling your house, you might want to start doing that now. And if you're thinking about buying, you might want to wait, unless you like spending extra of your fiat money on the same thing. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.